Hello, I'm Diane Zimberoff, and I'm here to tell you about my book, Breaking Free from the Victim Trap. It's a book that I was highly motivated to write, and it has been read by thousands and thousands of people.
What led up to the ideas in the Victim Trap book?
I was working in my practice in Los Angeles and different places, and I kept seeing clients that were terribly abused. Many of them were sexually abused, they were victims of domestic violence. And when I learned the hypnotherapy, and I learned how to do age regressions, I saw even more of how the victimization was expressed in their lives today, in their current relationships and their low self-esteem and their feelings of helplessness and hopelessness. And I felt like I really wanted to do more to help in the healing of this victimization.
What type of training did you have to prepare you to write this book?
After I went to the University of Wisconsin, I was taught by many of the humanistic psychology masters. I studied with Eric Berne, who actually developed transactional analysis and the concept of the victim, rescuer, and persecutor. That's where I first learned this. However, during those years, we were using this as analysis. It was a mental process. It was very much in the conscious, analytical part of the mind. So I felt like even though we understood the victim triangle, we never really got down to the deeper levels of learning how to heal it and how to change these patterns. I was also trained by Fritz Perls in the humanistic psychology, and I learned a lot about ego states and the adult, child, and parent from both of those teachers. So this ego state psychology really fits into the work that I do and many of the concepts in healing the victim triangle. After that, I learned hypnotherapy, and the hypnotherapy really took this to a deeper level.
Tell me about the hypnotherapy and age regression.
Well, in the age regressions, people would start off with a feeling of uncomfortableness, anxiety, fears, deep fears, low self-esteem, all the things that contribute to someone not being able to move forward in their life. And when I developed the heart-centered hypnotherapy and was able to learn to take them back to the source of this, many of them regressed even back to being in the womb, which I know for many people is hard to believe, but it happens over and over again. So this pattern of the victim, rescuer, persecutor was oftentimes already going on in the family when the child was conceived or when the child was in utero. And so when that child was born, which of course is my client or you, when that child was born, it stepped right into the role of the victim or rescuer or persecutor, whatever the parents had in mind, because the role is already predetermined before the child is born. So that really opened up my eyes to how deep these patterns are and how they can be healed through the use of the ego state therapy.
How do you envision your book contributing to the healing in the world?
What I discovered about these patterns, the victim patterns, is that they are universal. The more I traveled around, the more I've read, the more clients that I've worked with. It's amazing. The victim triangle operates in universities, in workplaces, in families, all throughout our relationships. It's not just in our one-on-one relationships with our wife or husband. We teach it to our children, and it's so unconscious. that we just keep going on into our families and recreating these dramas over and over again. The victim drama seems to be almost like an addiction for many people because it's the only way they've known to really interact with each other. And so we learn to play these dramas, and they continue to create havoc in our families.
Is there a method that would most effectively help people who read the book and then are seeking help?
Yes. As I was doing this work and writing the book, I began to develop a process called the Personal Transformation Intensive. It is well described in the book, and it is a group process where people come once a month for 5 months. They come to a weekend seminar or course, and these patterns are brought about in the group, are looked at. My book is the source of the training of the PTI group. So everyone reads the book and then has a mental understanding of what we're focusing on here to heal. We use psychodrama, we use hypnotherapy, we have many other exercises in the group for people to learn to see these patterns in their life and then change them. I get letters all the time and emails and phone calls from people who have read my book and who have taken the PTI training, and they thank me over and over again. They tell me, thank you for saving my life, or thank you for healing my family. They tell me that they give the book to all their family members and ask them to read it. So take some time to read the book and to give me your feedback on it. I'd love to hear that. Thank you.